So if you want to be super fucking happy in life, there is a small secret I recently discovered. And when I talk about happiness, I'm talking about unquestionable happiness. Being happy without particular reason, being happy, not emphasizing too much on how your life is going, right? Here is the deal. There is a mid-tier intelligence, not super intelligent, not low-life intelligence. It is a mid-tier intelligence. In the mid-tier intelligence, you're able to understand the rules of the game, but you're not emphasizing deeply in the rules of the game. Because if you emphasize a lot, and think a lot, and analyze a lot the rules of the game, you understand how fucked you are, right? This is where the smart people, who didn't actually achieve so much, realize that there's a problem with this. And this is where they're actually getting annoyed, okay? So basically, the mid-tier intelligence allows you to understand, basic needs, survival skills, how to protect yourself, what is really dangerous, what you should probably do or not do. On the surface, you don't really get deeply analyzing each and every situation in your life. That's why you probably don't get overhyped when things are going well, because you don't know why things are going well. You don't assume that you're super amazing, super smart, and the best deal in various niches or domains of life. Also, you don't get super depressed when things are falling apart, because you don't really consume the reason for the failure being you not so good and others being better than you. Think about it, right? That also has something to do with Jeff Bezos. He said, when the stock of Amazon is up 10%, I don't feel smarter, because the next day might be 10% lower, and I will feel 10% dumber, right? This kind of have certain correlation if you really think to. I realized I was making the video, right? But the mid-tier intelligence is a real thing. There's certain people that are just happy without reason, right? They don't really go deep into self-analysis. They don't really do the, evaluation of the day, week, month, year. They don't really bother of, comparison with themselves, not with others or whatever. I believe this mid-tier intelligence is the super happy level where things are always going down the current. So people are kind of flowing, down the current. They don't really bother to create a counterweight, or they don't really try to change things or how they're going. Because usually people, when things don't work, people start, getting angry, start getting offensive, start getting either defensive or offensive. They're trying to change things. They're trying to look into the issue. Is the issue based on their lack of skills, knowledge? Is the issue based on whatever circumstances that they cannot really change? The nature of the game sometimes. The more questions you ask yourself, the deeper you go down the hole. So you're more depressed probably could be if you can't really solve it, right? That's basically what you want to think about, right? Just think about how when Elon was trying to build SpaceX, the more problems he had to solve, the worse the depression or the issues or his mental state was, completely destroyed, right? The healthy mindset was decreasing because the more issues you have, the more analysis you have to do, the more back testing you have to do. There is more things that you have to do deeper, research and development. You have to do a deeper testing period. And the deeper you go into certain problem or issue for you to be resolved, the more issues you actually have and the worse you actually feel. That's why these super high intelligent people, they really struggle. I would like to see someone that you're going to point out down in the comment section who is exceptionally intelligent, proven. It's a fact, who is super happy. You basically will not be able to point anyone. All of the people who are super IQ. I'm not talking about people pretending to be smart, pretending to have invented something. I'm talking about actual people. Just think about Stephen Hawking, right? Super intelligent. Was he happy? I don't think so. Just think about Einstein. There are a couple of documentaries you can go watch. The guy was not happy. Just look at all these historic figures. They really struggle. All these big, musicians, Tchaikovsky, Mozart, Beethoven, all of these, super unique figures left so much heritage in their domain of expertise, they had a very complicated life. Why? Because they were put under unique stress, because they have to get deeper into their own niche, which could be music, which could be science, which could be math, which could be physics, right? And they have to come up with solution, right? They have to change something that is not yet built. And you can only do that by changing the rules of the game. And you cannot change the rules of the game with the surface knowledge. People with surface knowledge build nothing, achieve nothing. It's like people who are trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean building a boat or buying a boat from Target, right? They don't really understand. They haven't done, the deep research about the currents, about the storms, about the cycles, about the moon phase, all these small elements. They don't really know how to utilize the small weather. It could be wind, it could be specific current that will drag them further toward or against the final destination. All these small elements are mind-blowing. It all requires only one thing, which basically is that you should do your deep diligence, and you should understand that you cannot skip facts, you cannot skip time researching, you cannot skip hard work behind the research, right? And all this is going to cost you a lot of time. Most likely you're going to make a bunch of mistakes. You're going to be disappointed. Think about all the medications that are in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 testing. And, people spend millions of dollars doing research. In the end, all the medications simply don't work. They don't pass the exam. They don't cure the disease. Everything goes bust. Again, do you think these people are happy? No, I don't think so. Because the deeper you get into a particular domain of expertise, this means that the input that you have gave out is greater. And the greater the input, the higher the potential, dissatisfaction or depression could be. So the mid-tier intelligence is what you want to aim for. Not for everyone though. Because some people might have mid-tier intelligence, might know a lot of things just on the surface level, which will create them fake IQ expectations. They know a very small percentage of almost everything from Wikipedia, for example, where they think that they're so smart. Giving them this false impression of, highly intelligent with a broad knowledge individual. But if you can live with this, I would say surface knowledge base and being happy and prefer for you to be happy, less stress, you can definitely do that. I believe this is the formula of success.